Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Tiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black biz bright spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Be more new, where we breaking glass ceilings. All black every day, income healing. Donnie Glover, flip the script, let's go. Black Wall Street roadmap, be more flow. Real talk, stock rise, dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies wallow. Baltimore kings, queens, crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black beard strategist, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Be more news, success we inhaling. Victories, IRS, no detailing. Donnie Glover, rise to shine, let's glow. Focused on green, black, Wall Street in tow.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul. Charles, you coming in, or I'd like to welcome Charles to the show. Ori Shabazz, how you doing, partner?
Pretty good. How you doing, brother Donnie?
All right, all right.
Yeah, Donnie, I'm here. I don't know if you can see me. It says, "Oh, I'm in the show." Okay.
Yeah, you're in the show. Yeah, introduce yourself, Charles.
My name is Charles Williams. I am from West Baltimore.
Let me just clarify. You're not going to show your face?
No, I'm not camera ready at all, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
proceed.
You can see the picture of me, though, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm from Edmondson Village on the west side, but left Baltimore in '81 and moved to Texas with the family. But now, of course, after the death of my parents, I have questions and I'm looking for answers.
And so you've been following the show?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have.
And your thoughts thus far?
My thoughts are, I love it. We need more open dialogue and transparency with one another. We need these platforms to be able to discuss things. And, in my email that I sent you, it's all about uniting our people so that we can do the things that need to be done, that should have been done decades ago. As we've discussed, I've been hearing these topics of conversation since I was a little shorty going to barbershops and whatnot. And I've just come to the conclusion that it's time to put up or shut up. And we need to unite and do the things that are in our best interests to how can I say, facilitate the changes that we all want to see.
Ori, you saying something, Ori?
Oregon.
No, I'm talking to my other guest. Ori, are you in there? Yeah, your mic is on now. Are you there? Ori, can you hear me? Ori, can you hear me? Ori, can you hear me?
Hello?
Ori, can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Donnie.
Okay, we'll get it together. So Charles, Charles has muted himself. Ori, testing, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, proceed, Charles. Or let me do one more check. Ori, can you hear me? Ori.
I can't hear you. I can't.
Okay. Well, use the phone. Call me on the phone.
It's saying I'm backstage.
Nah. Try it again. He was doing fine at first. Okay, so go ahead, Charles.
The last thing I left on was trying to unite our people to facilitate the changes that we all want to see. It's enough talk. We need action now. It's one thing to educate ourselves on everything from the past and find the discrepancies and come into the truth about things. But once you have this education, once you've been woken up, what are we going to do with this stuff now?
Let me
Okay,
try.
so
Let me
you're
try Ori one more time. Hold tight,
indigenous.
Charles. Ori, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
All right. Don't touch the computer.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Gotcha.
Proceed, Mr. Charles, and welcome, Mafia Shakur. Peace, brother. You got the floor,
All right, so
brother Charles. So, Mr. Charles, let me just qualify this a bit. You're
all right.
a black man. You're in Baltimore because people can't see your face.
No. I'm a brown man.
Pardon my language. Please.
I'm not in Baltimore. I'm originally from Baltimore, the West Side, Edmondson Village. If you know Wildwood Parkway, that's where I originated from. Moved to Texas in 1981 with the family, and both of my parents have passed, so I now have a lot of questions that came about during the pandemic in 2020 when I found a gentleman's channel on YouTube by the name of Dane Calloway. He made a lot of sense, and I watched one of his lives, and he ended his live with, if you're from Africa, name just one of your African relatives. Yeah.
Okay, so let me finish qualifying this, Mr. Charles. How old are you, if I may ask?
I'm 55.
You're 55, and while we at it, since you're from Baltimore, you know how we roll. What high school did you go to?
Didn't go to high school in Baltimore. I went to high school in Texas, Madison High School.
Okay. Last time you were in Baltimore, you were how old?
Actually, I was there in August last month, so I was 55 last month. Yeah. Oh, you mean the last time I lived in? Okay, so we lived.
No. Last time you visited Baltimore.
Yeah, that was last month.
Oh, well, great. I'm glad you stay connected.
Yeah.
We got a comment
I
here.
visited.
Hold tight, partner. That's your disadvantage when you do this call-in thing. Ancestral DNA test is a scam. Research DNA testing is a scam. Less than 1% can be measured. It is basically a horoscope reading of your ancestors. Therefore, do not allow to be. We're going to get to that shell of lump. I promise you. I did some homework. Tahuti Pod class. Check it out. Rob Lowe. Okay. So, long story short, Charles, you say listening to these type of shows for how long now?
Since 2020. So for 5 years.
And so do you find any value in it? Do you think that it is a conversation that is being held across Black America, across melanated America?
Yes, I do. I find it very valuable because we have been lied to. We have been miseducated by by these school systems, by compulsory education, and the lies of history are just they're unfolding now, and we're finding out the truth. And it's leading us back to ask questions, and we're finding answers now. But that's my question to my people in my community is, well, now that we have the answers, now that we're educating ourselves on the truth, what are we going to do about it?
Now, could that be a tad premature? Because you've been listening to these shows for 5 years, doesn't mean that everybody else has. You could be ahead of the class. You could be in that group in a class. You got the people above the arc, the people in the middle, and the people at the bottom, so to speak.
Well, while modern day folks are continuously waking up, as I mentioned, these are conversations that have been held since I was a little shorty going to barbershops.
But that was your experience. It doesn't mean
Right.
that was everybody's experience. Some people were in
True.
survival mode, Charles.
True that. But there are platforms, large platforms of people that are asking the same questions I am and wondering, okay, what are we going to do about it?
So last question before I bring in Ori. What have you been doing about the situation?
I started, what is called Something to Unite For. I've done a couple GoFundMe campaigns trying to get people together to donate to a cause that would allow us to take the legal actions and make a legal argument within this government about their crimes and atrocities. And that's what it is going to take to get anything done. We can all,
Have you? Oh, hold tight. Have you been doing it by yourself?
Yes, I have.
So, if you remember in our initial conversation, I shared with you that myself, I have to be mindful of what I am a part of, because what I
Right.
do not want is to be a part of anything that challenges a long track record without such chicanery, without such foolishness.
Correct.
We've had no need to do anything along those lines. And so having advised a number of businesses, nonprofits, elected officials, candidates, what have you, I would just encourage you to have a strong foundation on whatever you build, and start off strong. It starts with establishing trust. That is the most important thing. And I'm gonna pass the ball and bring in Ori Shabazz.
All right.
All right. Hello, Brother Don. I just want to say peace to the panel, peace to everybody in the chat. First and foremost, to Brother Charles. I don't know when your parents passed, but deep and sincere condolences.
Yes, our prayers to you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah,
we pray your recovery, your healing as you move on without them. I've been there. Or you ever been there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my parents have passed, and it's been a journey. It is. But to the discussion at hand, I want to unpack this quickly so that we can move on. But this whole argument about us being in America first, we have to understand, and we have to have references. Sheikh Anta Diop said we were everywhere first. We were in China first. We were in India first. We were everywhere first. We are the original man. So I'm having problems understanding the significance of the argument. And this idea that if I can't name someone in Africa, then I'm detached from the continent. That's not what Dr. Ben says. That's not what John Henry Clark says. You see, so when we have these discussions, we got to have some sort of bibliography, a point of reference. It can't just be how I feel, you see, or my individualized, undisciplined study. You see, we got to have a balance. And then
So
final,
let me jump in and share one thing that has been illuminated. I had some knowledge of American pyramids, but not extensive. And so what I share on the screen, and this show is all about illumination. This is an artist's concept of a mound pyramid. And we've shared a lot about mound pyramids on this show.
and that's in America, right?
Yeah, this is in Louisiana.
Right.
This is an artist rendition of Watson Break, an archaeological site in Ouachita Parish, Louisiana, that dates back to 3500 BC.
We have such foundings throughout the world, in China, in India. Our people are everywhere. I think Sheikh Anta Diop is one of the people that really establishes this. And even Europeans, one of the things we understand who came out of the ice approximately 10,000 years ago. But I don't think a lot of our people understand who got trapped in the ice initially. Who were those people? You see, and when you're able to answer these kind of questions, then you get a lot of clarity, and we don't spend. And it's not a waste of time because we definitely have to have these forums, and I think we need to have them in person. But with Neely Fuller, because in the final analysis, Neely Fuller will say, "What does it have to do with anything anyway?" When we're talking about the larger group, you see, and that a real issue. Well, that's a real issue, but another issue is the education of our children. Where does it list in terms of priorities? Protecting our seniors. I mean, we're having these discussions. We got to have these forums so that we can move them through, so that it won't be another decade or so that we're talking about this. Yeah, we went to America first, but we also came from Africa. Everybody came from Africa. You see? We're everywhere, building everything. And we can't let our discussions, and this one is certainly progressive, deteriorate into something that's going to further divide us when we need to be coming together.
So the Corral complex in Peru dating back around 2600 BCE.
Mm-hmm. Impressive. I mean, the panel is still there, right?
Yes.
All right. And our friend in Washington, D.C., Tony Browder, could probably speak extensively and particularly to a lot of these displays, a lot of these artifacts. But my discussion is probably, well, definitely a lot more general, just in terms of what we're talking about and how we approach these issues. And that when we speak on these issues, my main point is that we got to have a point of reference. We have to have some kind of bibliography that we can offer, to the listeners, because it can't be.
See, the thing is, when you say that, when you say bibliography, a lot of this has not been recorded by indigenous hands. to my understanding.
Right.
Because written records are challenged. That's my understanding.
No doubt, especially in contemporary society. But what
And we open new information. I'm sorry.
Right, but what African scholars have been producing the last few decades pretty much has this thing done, you know, in terms of who we are. Let me just say this. Biggie Smalls, that's a reference. He says that all the other guys in the rap game, they are siblings, nothing but his children. That's the rest of the world compared to African people, Black people. All of the other people are siblings. It's only one king. That's Black people, African people. We gave these other people their existence.
This is the one I was looking for, bro. Please forgive me. Go ahead.
Right, through climate change and other issues, we have all these other people. So when we come back to the question about being in America first, absolutely, we were everywhere first. We're the original man and woman. Probably should be original woman and man on earth. But I look forward to the day and trying to make it manifest when we're able to have these forums live and we can make some progress in terms of an exchange and we can move forward, like solve the issue and then move on. Help educate our children, protecting our seniors.
I want you to hear something. You still with us, Mr. Charles?
Here.
Okay, we've just been joined by Big Brother here. Bear with me a second. Welcome in, Horace. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right, brother. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. I want to attempt to share this piece that I came across.
And how long does that take?
You know, our policies state that, you know, we will delete their data within 30 days. And in most cases, it is automatic and happens much quickly.
And when you delete it, it's deleted. It's gone forever.
All the genetic data is deleted forever. And yes.
Really? Because that's not what your privacy statement says in the fine print. Let's read it. What your statement says is, we retain personal information for as long as necessary to provide the services and fill the transactions you have requested, to comply with our legal obligations, resolve disputes, enforce agreements, et cetera, et cetera. And then it goes on, 23andMe and or our contracted genotyping laboratory will retain your genetic information even if you choose to delete your account.
Senator, you know, 23andMe, it does not retain any genetic information regarding the consumer once they delete their account. We do.
It says right here that you will retain genetic information, including date of birth and sex, even if you choose to delete your account. This is your privacy policy. I'm just quoting from it.
Senator, you know, to the best of my knowledge, we do not maintain any genetic information.
It says even if you choose to delete your account, we will retain your genetic information, date of birth and sex, even if you choose to delete your account.
There is some information that we do retain, such as, but not related to the genetic information.
Right.
But that, you know, such as name, email address,
Oh.
and other.
So even if you delete the account, you retain their name, you retain their email address, you retain their date of birth, you retain their sex, and you retain their genetic information, even if they choose to delete your account. So in other words, don't talk to your suit behind you, talk to me.
It was a lot more in that. Let me just pull that out of there. Welcome to the show,
Peace,
Big Brother.
peace, my brother. Peace.
How you
We've
doing, brother?
been listening in. Horace, how have we been doing, big brother?
Well, I've been pretty fat for a square, man. I was had tuned in, but I was driving. I said, man, let me pull over so I can hop on, man, and get in here, man, because still got about a good hour and a half to make it to my destination.
All right. What would you like to share, Horace?
Well, I heard the one brother who I couldn't see, and I also heard the brother here, and well, to piggyback off of my brother here, what's your name, brother? Your name was on there.
Ori.
Okay, Ori. Okay, Ori Shabazz. Yes, sir, brother. So now I'm most definitely am 100% with you, man, when it comes to the fact that we have been everywhere, man. And that argument, I'm the same way you are, man. Why are people even trying to figure this part out, man? Because we have been everywhere for eternity. You see what I'm saying? But as far as the African theory comes from, when we dealing with Africa and we dealing with Turtle Island, right? So now, if you know the story of Turtle Island, is that there wasn't anything except for water, which we consider Tiamat. And that Turtle Island, that turtle carried that little patch of dirt on his back, and then the rest of the world came about. So now we have to also keep in mind that the African theory also come from the same people who wrote the history. See, anything that they are for, I'm questioning it, man. So if they tell me to go right, you best believe, man, I'm considering going left only because they agree with it. So now when it comes to them agreeing with everybody coming from Africa, that's 100% up their alley. So when we start the Turtle Island argument, now there's a little bit of pushback against that because it doesn't fit into their narrative about everything coming from Africa. So the way I see things,
When you say
say it again, bro.
When you say when he says everything, are we still talking about people?
Well, no, that's what I mean. All life originated in Africa, and of course, we all speculate because we've only been here a certain amount of years. But I know that my grandfather was from Haiti, by way of Louisiana, and he was darker than you, and he wore Indian feathers. And when I get back to Chicago, I'm gonna get the pictures and share it.
That's not an issue. We accept that 100%. I talk about myself personally because we're talking about people in general. And what I'm saying is we're on the same page with that. There's no difference whatsoever.
I'm not under the assumption that all life began in Africa. And one of the main reasons why
you're talking about human life,
yeah, not right. Animal and plant,
right? But you have to understand, brother, and I don't mean to cut you off. You have to understand that your disagreement is with Dr. Ben Yakin, and your disagreement is not with me.
Well, no, sir, not with you, brother. No,
right? It's with Sheikh Diop. You see, and these are scholars, Black African scholars who have done the work decades ago. This is not coming from the pale people.
But you also do understand that their information and resources were limited to a degree at those particular times. And let me just say this real quick, is that when you look at Africa as opposed to here, we got 10 times more pyramids than Africa has. And our pyramids predate any of the pyramids that's in Africa. The pyramids in that, and the way I see it is that when you're dealing with Canada on down to South America, we've been around so many billions and trillions of years. By the time we made it to South America, we had advanced enough to build the pyramids with bricks to make them look like, like this instead of round and flat at the top, because the ones that's here in America, they mostly round and flat at the top, and they're very, very old. So those pyramids in Egypt and other parts of Africa, man, are the baby pyramids. The pyramids that's here in America are the great-great-grandmother pyramids. So now how could we be from there and their pyramids are advanced, but our pyramids are prehistoric. It doesn't make sense.
Right. While at the same time, our children in K through 12 are being programmed in a way that may not be productive to them, and we're having this discussion. Have you heard of Dr. Neely Fuller?
Yes, I have.
Neely Fuller would ask, what the hell does all of that have to do with today? Because what we do a lot of times, brother, is that we have discussions and we're in different eras and we're moving
True indeed.
eras. And what we have to do to have a real, well, not necessarily real, but I think we need to have a discussion where we pin down a particular era, because we can't jump back 20,000 years, 2 billion years, and then jump back in today. It doesn't work like that. It has to be some kind of continuity.
Well, true indeed, brother. I'm most definitely there with you, because if you read the protocols of the wise men of Zion, one of the protocols state that there'll be a host of confused issues. So you got a bunch of people going in circles around issues that they're trying to figure out, while the ones who running the show, they know what the real deal is.
No doubt.
So I don't disagree for the sake of just trying to be in disagreement with what you're saying, but I'm looking at it from the perspective of our pyramids are older than the pyramids in Africa.
Right.
And
what difference does that make?
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then none of this discussion makes a difference.
Oh, no, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
I'm really asking you, though, in terms of 2025, what difference does it make?
Well, can I offer?
Absolutely.
It brings in a perspective that has not been widely discussed like this ever before.
Right. But
Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that?
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. And what the brother is saying, we really need to have these discussions. Like I said, I think in a live forum, so that we could really feel each other's energy, because I'm with this brother 100%. I'm with Charles 100%. The only thing I'm saying is, and I'm back to my original point, we're talking about African people. We're talking about billions of years on the planet. And so we've been everywhere.
We've been everywhere.
On the planet.
So you acknowledge we were here first?
No doubt. We were my thing is now,
everywhere first. Okay.
Everywhere. Yeah.
So we all on the same page.
Pretty much. They have pyramids in China. They have pyramids in India.
But see, our pyramids here in America, we ride past them, don't know that they're pyramids.
Right. Well, can you load any of those pictures in the
Talking about me, brother?
Yes.
I don't know how to do that, man.
I'll do it. You go ahead.
Yeah, but I got hundreds of pictures, man. And like I was telling the brother yesterday, is that I'm starting to question the Appalachians.
Right.
Because you know I ride past these. Well, you know I've been driving trucks for the past 8 years. And the ancestors, man, took me through something crazy, man, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. But during the time when I was down, that's when they started, man, showing me these things that I haven't been riding past all of these years. And so now I get to see them up close and personal and get out. Like I said to brother the picture yesterday, man, you got steps in these things that people think they mountains. Mountains don't grow with steps in them, bro.
Wow.
You know, and so down in Oka, yeah, I might pronounce it wrong. I want to say Okanazi, Oka-Sealy, Florida. You got a mound that's at least 90 to 100 miles long.
Wow.
You know, so now I think that we underestimate our ancestors' technology for what they had the power to do. And see, these people right now, man, they harnessing energy, man, from these monuments, man. And they binding our ancestors down with garbage, with gas. You know, they going to these sites and they doing rituals. And then they keeping us in a state of stupor every mean possible, man. Well, every way possible, man. So I see these things, man. I'm gonna try to pull up a couple of pictures that I got, man. But
So let
like
me
they
just
said,
read this one. Let me share this one. This is Monk's Mound. We've shared it before. Largest pre-Columbian earthwork in the Americas, 900 to 955 CE, located near Collinsville, Illinois. Let me give Mr. Charles a chance to chime in. Charles, you've been quiet. Thank you for chiming in.
Yeah, I mean, I see. I mean, y'all are on the kind of the discovery, research, and educational piece of things. I'm at, once we have all of this information, once you've done your research and had these conversations with your family, and you find out that you're indigenous to this land, yeah, you may have roots that go back to Africa. I'm not saying that we don't, but when we talk about our ancestryship in the last 300 to 400 years, it is appearing to be indigenous. So when you have that information and your family has had the discussion, what are you what are you going to do with it? Okay, we're indigenous. Now what? What do we
can
do,
I
guys?
touch on that right quick? Then I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it brief. First of all, well, just on what you said, one of the main things that'll take place, let's just say, for instance, if us four were in the dark, but we realize that there's light. Once we realize that there's light, that light is going to shine. So now, after we come and to terms with who we are, where our place is on this planet, man, Mother Nature, the elements, everything are going to start just working in ways where somebody standing on the side say, "Hold, them people doing magic."
Mm.
See,
So
everything that
Hars, let's get deep for a second. You said, and I hope people caught it because I had a similar experience. I want you to go back to when you talked about the ancestors talk to you. I remember when I was in New Orleans, I felt the ancestors. And when you told me about your Haitian roots in my last visit to New Orleans, I went to the Treme Museum, met some historians who spoke about the deep connection between New Orleans and Haiti. They spoke French in Haiti, or speak French in Haiti, French occupied, kicked Napoleon out, blah, blah, blah. But also what a lot of us who have never been to Louisiana don't realize is, especially New Orleans, it was the intersection. Some people call that an island. And the intersection of the British, the Spanish, the French, the indigenous, as well as people who had been enslaved. And I feel the ancestors, I felt the ancestors grabbing me, screaming at me like,
yeah.
Tell me about that experience you had, big brother.
Well, I had experienced to whereas that I took a nosedive, with my company, because it was crazy how it happened, man. And I was out of work, just out the blue, man. So it came to me that, hold on, man, these is pyramids up here in Chicago on 130th and the Dan Ryan.
Mm.
So I mean, and the Bishop Ford Highway, and I'm like, man, I've been riding past these all my life, but I'm from literally right up the street on the 104th in Maryland. And so I went to the mounds and said my love, whatever. And the next day my car got stolen. And so I wasn't really salty about that happening, because I'm looking at it like, okay, well, if you want something, you got to give something. So after that, man, the ancestors, man, just started giving me this boom, 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 just out of nowhere, man. And I was, man, feeling, man, like out of energy, man. It's just a whole bunch of crazy. I would literally have to have my lady, to explain what was going on. But man, I would hear voices, and I would see visions, man. I seen a vision of 6 of the elders standing what I think is Lake Michigan, but out there in the water was a spaceship with thunder and lightning. So I didn't, I'm like, man, this is crazy. It was a whole bunch of other stuff that followed along in the dream, but I was sitting in the Egyptian class one day and heard a brother reading Ezekiel chapter 8. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, man. That was my dream right there. And he was reading it verbatim. I'm like, man, this shit is crazy right here. Then after that, it took me a couple of more years for somebody to tell me, hey, the 6 elders that you saw, they write in chapter 9. Because they asked me, well, have you ever read chapter 9? I said, no, I always stopped at 8. But the 6 elders that I've seen in the vision will write that 9. But, it's just, man, it's been a journey for me, man. Because, like I said, man, my granddaddy, he started me out at an early age, man. He used to draw hieroglyphics on a piece of paper when I was 3 and 4 and call it a masterpiece. And he would hide that paper. And, I'd be, bothering him about, where it's at. And he'd just sit there and be laughing at me. Then he'll come back out of nowhere with some more hieroglyphics drawn on the paper, man. So I'm like, man, whatever that meant. But as I got older, I started learning, about these different things. And he used to tell me all the time about the dog star. He had got so deep into the dog star that he nicknamed himself Bow Wow.
Yeah, you talking about the Dogon people of Mali who studied Sirius B, a star that they were able to see without modern day telescope.
Yeah.
It was Sirius B and another piece to it.
Sirius A and Sirius B minor, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
They had their own technology thousands of years before this Western technology. But if I could just go back to the video for a second, and what the guy was saying about the evidence.
Oh, DNA testing.
The DNA testing, right. And so the only thing that demonstrates is that they still speak with forked tongues, and they always will.
Oh, yeah, you give up your information, your DNA, they taking all of that and they selling it.
Right. And that's
so to your point, Charles, yeah, as we come together, we at least, if I can take your point to another level, we at least better be mindful of the value of our collective spending, our collective spending power. If we got 1.6, almost $2 trillion in annual disposable income, let's be mindful of where we target those dollars. And as noted, 23andMe is a straight stick up. It's not a service. They come to snatch your information and sell it. So
they say for entertainment purposes, right on the kit.
Yeah, he entertaining his pockets all the way to the bank. Billions.
and I want to say something right quick, and I'm gonna be quiet. That picture you had of Cahokia, I passed that mound many different times, and there's a pyramid mound, one in. I was trying to find it, man. I got on one of these flash drives, but there's one in Michigan that's way taller than that and bigger than that. There's one in Louisiana. Where the one in Michigan, man, swallowed that thing up. And as a matter of fact, come to think of, there's one right across the highway from Cahokia that's 10 times bigger than that they don't even show. And you could fit maybe about 10 of these down into the one that's across the street from Cahokia, right on the other side of the highway. And I'm saying, why didn't we talk about that one right there? Yeah.
I really like to see all of that, actually. And I just have one question for you, brother. Have you ever done any work? Have you ever associated with Tony Browder? Because
Anthony Browder?
Anthony Browder, yes.
Out of Chicago? No, man. I've been reading his books, man, for 30 years, though.
Right.
I've never even met that brother, man. I would like to, but no, sir.
Yeah, because he does these expeditions and he's studying our pyramids and other artifacts in Africa. But we have a lot of stuff, according to you, right here that we explored.
Everything's right here, brother.
Right, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate what Charles is saying, because what Charles is saying is that after we get all this together, then what?
But we got magical powers, man. We really don't even have to. Because see, as I look at the news and certain videos, man, I see these officers And these racist people, they still coming at us on a physical level. We don't even have to fight a physical fight.
Quite agreed. Quite agreed. And if I could just say one thing, Donnie, and I'm pretty much, and I was down in Louisiana a couple of months ago on vacation, and it actually took me a couple of months to be able to begin to unpack my experiences there, because that French Quarter, man, took me back spiritually to when the French was running amok. You see, and it was quote unquote glamorous. The architecture is different. People sitting out at night, white people sitting out, French, I guess, sitting out at night. It gave me a bad feeling. But on our way back to the airport, I asked our Uber driver, I said, I don't like it downtown. What's going on like in the communities? And she said, well, we're having this big Indian parade, and it's the biggest in the country. I said, wow, what do most of the people look like? And she said, well, most of them are black like you. And it just took me aback, man. And it made me realize, like what the brother is saying, how much information is here that hasn't been uncovered yet. Because this whole thing about miseducation is a serious piece. And Baldwin said, when we watch Westerns, we're usually cheering for the cowboys when the Indians were us.
Not me. Not me. I was always with the Indians. Not me. Stop that. Hey, Oi, we rebuke you in the name of the Great Spirit. We rebuke you. Damn with that. I was with Geronimo, bro. I ain't buying none of that. You were. No, don't speak for me.
Right. So
Hey, well, it's one thing that I do know.
This is your Cahokia bit, bro. There's your Cahokia.
Yeah. I did a piece on that, but those Indians that they say Indians, you know how I know that they're not Indians? Because the land doesn't even vibrate with them in a frequency that allows them to have rhythm.
Right.
Horace, you got to go back to the other piece you didn't get into about trash.
Yeah. Well, most of the major pyramids that's here in America, they're putting trash in them, man. And I'm Denver, Chicago, Atlanta, Florida, New York. They putting trash in them, and they've been putting trash in them for decades, and they turn them into landfills. And waste management is in control of those particular pyramids. So whoever is the CEO or the smart guy behind waste management, they knew what they were when they discovered them. So a lot of those particular pyramids, I'm thinking are either energy vortexes that's on ley lines that the ancestors used to harness energy from the constellations or the planet, or both of them combined. And I think that that by them putting this garbage in these pyramids like that, man, that they're binding our ancestors down.
Wow.
Okay, I ain't gonna let you just skate by. There's one more piece that you got to go into. Life from other planets.
Life from other planets?
Yeah.
What you mean, brother?
I thought that's what I thought you mentioned UFOs.
What? No. Oh, okay. Well, that particular. Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. I got a little cousin of mine. God bless the dead. Me, him, and one of my other cousins was sitting in front of Jennifer Hudson's house. As a matter of fact, on 70th and Yale, we were sitting back, drinking, and me and my cousin Ghost was in the front. And we always kicking knowledge. So little cuz, one in the back that's deceased now, he was back there chilling. So you know how it is, man, when you're having a couple of cocktails and kicking knowledge, man. So all of a sudden, something appeared in front of us in the sky. And so now it was way in the sky, but it was also on the windshield. And whatever it was, it had enough power to make us shut up and pay attention to it. And so we couldn't tell what it was. So, when little cuz, he was silly. He jumped out the car and was laying in the snow. That was a piece of paper and some stuff like that. But whatever regardless of what he said it was a piece of paper. Not he saw it. We all saw it, man. So to this day, we can't even describe what it was. But all three of us saw it at the same time.
Okay. Charles, Ori, you sitting back. We got a bunch of comments. And again, this is Cahokia. I've been trying to keep up. You shared some great information. Cahokia Mounds, 1,100, 4,000 acres, a lot of real estate. So let's get some of these comments in here.
All right.
Gentlemen, there go Brenda. Hey, Brenda. The Bible speaks about space vehicles. I heard a song. A lot of you heard it. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air. Full name of Smithsonian Institute for the Increase and Diffusion of Knowledge Amongst Men. Von, you're very disrespectful. I used to, Von, you're very disrespectful. You have no pitch up and you won't show your face. I'm done with you, Von. I'm done with you. I'm done. Brenda, you said that already. Brenda talking about pyramids on the moon. Brenda, you done sent me a lot of messages. You never mentioned pyramids on the moon. And you done took me to a whole other area. I'll share this last one. It would be nice to hear at least one scholar come with support for these America is the beginning claims. No one can prove it can't because everything we know is in English. Unless we speak another language.
That is major. The fact that what we're referencing is in English. That is major. That is significant. But at the same time, Dr. Ike and Turtle, they came before Columbus, is a scholar, talking about us being here way before so-called pilgrims. So those of us who are local might need to take a visit to everyone's place, and we can uncover some information. But what the brother was talking about in terms of the pyramids in America, is there a comprehensive, and Donnie, I think you were showing some of these images, but is there a comprehensive text or a compilation of these images that anyone could obtain?
Well, no, brother, I get them as I go, but they don't want us to know what they are.
Here's a couple comments for you, big bro. Seminole landfill is a pyramid.
Yeah, not only the landfills, also the rock quarries. And if I
go Powell Hatton, man. He said Bill Gates owns waste management.
Yeah, if I was better prepared for this, man, I would have had all of my files together, man. But I got hundreds of pictures that I've been accumulating, for the last couple of years, man. And yeah, brother.
What you far though, to me, is definitely appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man, because the way I see it, man, I was put here to play whatever part that I have to play in waking the people up. And hopefully, man, that they're even us, whatever we come into the knowledge of, it doesn't go in vain like what Martin and Malcolm, went to the grave, man. Because if they seen what was going on right now in the black community with the men, they would turn over in their graves, man.
Quite agreed. That's why we got to keep our ancestors alive. Because when they died, or when they left or transitioned, their message remains. And so it's now up to us to execute. And that's as far back as we can go. All of our ancestors.
Yeah, brother.
Well, that's preserving our history and everything, gentlemen. But when do we hold the colonizers accountable for everything that they have done to a people? When does the accountability piece come into play? And the only way that's going to happen is for us to unite and go at them as all on the same page, together. They're not
That's why I
going to
don't
take
think we can
individual
afford.
claims.
That's why I don't think we can afford to disconnect from people who look like us around the world. Chi-Town, you agree with that, Horace?
Yeah, I truly believe, man. It's people against the people in Africa and all this other stuff, man, that's a last leg conspiracy, man, to get us off of the same page as a whole organic and original people on the land.
Hmm. Could I just say,
it doesn't matter
Okay.
whether or not that really don't matter. We shouldn't be arguing with the brothers and sisters in Africa right now, man.
When you think of your ancestors in Haiti who had a problem with the French and Napoleon, and you look at Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso who just kicked the French out, me, myself, I see some commonalities. I don't know what tribe you from, what tribe I'm from. I know if I saw you on the strip, you look like me. Now, there are all kinds of biblical things that have been introduced here, tribal things. This is my people, that's my people. All I know, like I told you on the phone, Ars, if Popo pull all four of us over, they ain't asking you what tribe you from, what church you go to, or what mosque you go to. They coming to lock us all up. That's what I know. That's been proven.
Right.
Divide and conquer
Okay.
always
So-
have been the biggest enemy.
So how do we fix that problem, gentlemen?
Having conversations like this and exchanging some resources.
Just the conversations ain't going to get us there. We got to take the actions that are going to facilitate the changes we all want to see.
Well, I told you, you want to raise money. You said you want to raise money, but I don't know that you have the mechanism to raise money. I haven't seen where I would donate $1 to your cause. And I brought up to you Umar Johnson, and not that he did or didn't produce, no, but that people have questions about what he did with the money. That's all I'm saying. I have not investigated the story, but that's a recurring theme. What was done with the money? And I told you, I don't want to ever be associated with anything that questions my integrity or the trust of money. And that's why I said to you in the very private conversation, you got to pull together some people with some money to establish some credibility and therefore some trust. Because what I will not be a part of is tearing down our trust and our shutdown.
And we're both on the same page with that. I'm not going to be a part of any foolery either. It's very, I think in my mind, it's very easily organized. We need a board of people within our community across the country who can come together, sit down, make an agenda, and get things moving in the right direction. Whoever those people may be, hey, let's begin the process of identifying those people. Who do we want on our board to represent us in going forward with a landmark case like this against this government and holding them accountable for their actions since they, since all of the things that they've done as colonizers have put us in the positions that we are in today as a people.
So let me give you a step towards solution, Charles. I think you need to secure a lawyer and proceed with a class action lawsuit and show people you're serious and give people an opportunity to sign on. That's what I see as a viable solution that you can do right now. I'm not a lawyer, but that's what makes sense to me. Gentlemen?
Could I say one thing in closing? What Charles is saying is absolutely correct, but it's not just limited to what we call the America. This is worldwide. If we take a look at Michael Bradley's The Iceman Inheritance, and he explains why the colonizer is who he is, then we'll understand that he's not going to change, you see. But what we do in terms of what Charles is saying, moving forward and confronting and building a resistance, you see, that is continuous and worldwide, then we can begin to turn this thing around. But it starts with the discussion.
And this has been very respectful. I appreciate you all. Pleasure to meet you face to face, or at least virtually. And thank you for reaching out, because your words were encouraging, man. Some of these comments in the sideline, man, the Baltimore's starting to want to come out, but also know that I have an obligation and you know, to do my best.
Can I say something to the brother? Well, when it comes to these organizations and trying to be worldwide, my idea, and I hope that anybody watching might pick up on, is what I think is that we need to have a million matriarch march. And some of these pyramids and mounds, we need to be flooding these pyramids and mounds collectively and doing our energetic magic and talking to the ancestors, because we're not going to get nowhere with dealing with a bunch of murderers that they thrive on death and fear for the last 400 or 500 years, man.
Did you make that point, Horace, how we want to clean the trash off so that we can be better physically connected to these mound pyramids across North America? Can you speak to that?
That's most definitely, that's going to have to take place, and that's going to be a ritual on our part. If anybody knows anything about the Kabbalah, when it comes to dealing with the Klippa and Shekinah, when you rescuing your sparks of light, or you're cleaning up your own garbage, or Sharanzan, which is the demon that you created with your vices. So when we start to clean up these pyramids and this garbage, man, because trust me, man, we talking about garbage from thousands of people for years on top of years, and like how they say cleanliness is next to godliness, well, garbage is next to the devil. So once we clean these things up, it's going to be a ritual where we're actually cleaning up the garbage that we have accumulated over the years under the power of this energy vampire who's losing his power, because if he wasn't losing his power, we wouldn't be here right now.
No doubt.
And you mean not just physical trash, but trash of our dirty habits from yesterday.
It's gonna all be symbolic at the same time. We get out there collectively. Yeah.
Stinking thinking.
Yeah, because we're gonna be consciously aware of what we're doing and the reason why we're doing it by cleaning these pyramids up. And as we cleaning them up on the physical side, we're actually cleaning up ourselves on the spiritual and mental side as well. So we're gonna have to get in and do the magic, man, because all this paperwork and all of these going down to the halls, and then it's only one brother here representing himself and hoping that somebody has enough sense to say, okay, well, he's working for a good cause, but man, if we not together, unified, man, ain't nothing gonna work, man.
There you go.
Right.
Yes, sir.
We've been having this discussion since Martin Luther King was alive, man.
Right. We need to present a united front, Donnie. No one person is going to file a lawsuit and all of that. I was online yesterday looking at all the suits that have been filed, and they just wind up getting dismissed. Okay, we need a united front. We need everybody. We need at least 30 million names on a class action lawsuit to move forward, to let this government know we awake now. Okay. We've discovered and uncovered your lies, and you need to be held accountable for everything that has been taking place.
But see, they already know we are woke, brother. They already
yeah, but we ain't doing nothing about it. Have you ever had a conversation with a white man who will admit to you everything that they've done and then turn around and ask you what you gonna do about it?
I would imagine that's frustrating, and a part of you wanted to punch him in his nose, but you can't be distracted by somebody else's stuff. You got to stay focused on what your assignment is.
Donnie, I'm from West Baltimore. You know the temperament. Of course I did. But one person is not, you can't do it alone. If we could, it would have been done already. Go online, Google the federal lawsuits that they all get dismissed. It has to be a united front.
Well, I think that we need to stop.
It has to be landmark. It has to be us coming together, truly uniting. They know we can't come together. They know that's our kryptonite.
You speaking of negativity that I'm gonna rebuke again. We can do anything we put our minds to. We took a million people in Washington, D.C. We have been able to accumulate almost $2 trillion in annual disposable income, and all despite them trying to lock us up more than anybody on earth. We are phenomenal people, and I reject the notions of what we can't do.
Right, well, Donnie, in their mind, that's how they're seeing us.
That's their thinking. That's external of me. I gotta focus on my thinking. Ori, come on in, Ori.
Right, and their aggression against us is not going to be halted. It's not going to be halted. But Horace brought Dr. King into the discussion, and Dr. King talked about time and how time is neutral, and that it depends what we do with the time that we have. A lot of time, we would like to see a lot of these issues solved within our lifetime, but we're not in control of that 100%. It may be a couple of 100 years before we really get this thing together.
Oh, it's gonna take a while. Yeah.
Right. It's going to take a while, but as long as we're moving in the right direction, but it's not going to happen I don't see it happening. I can't say it's not going to happen in my lifetime. But we have.
Big brother, I don't remember having these. Charles, you say you remember these conversations. I don't remember this level of conversation nationally.
No, not to this level.
Indigeneity. I don't ever remember this.
No, not to this level. We have discovered more over time, not to this level, but these conversations.
Were our grandparents having this discussion?
Can't speak to that. I never knew my grandparents, so I can't speak to that.
I think that a few things that are important. Prophet Noble Raleigh, and I'm not in the Moorish Science Temple of America, nor do I claim to be a Moor. But I think that if you would study his oral sayings, it's one thing he said is that pay attention to your radios and your newspapers. I'm going to make the European tell you the truth. He also said that when the European goes back to Europe, mountains of gold will reveal themselves to us. He also said that one day you'll smell the European before you see him going back to Europe in boxcars.
Wow.
So I think that that another thing, I think that we need to take a lot of attention off of the Caucasoid, because he doesn't even know that he has been nothing but a puppet since the day he came over here from Europe. He had no real power.
That thinking is different than the Christianity that many of us grew up under. Let me just put that on the table. Since we keeping it a buck, Christianity did a number on us.
Well, Christianity is one of our original sciences, like one of the 14 pieces of Osiris's body. So is Islam, Judaism, and all these other isms that originated from the organic and original people of the land. See, so that's how we can relate to that on a spiritual level, because it's ours to begin with. They just took it just like hip hop. Just imagine, rapping over in London, and then somebody come back and tell you, oh man, Eric B and Rakim with some white boys. Well, if you're not born into the generation that knows better, you can't challenge that. But we say, hold on, man, we created hip hop, and Eric B and Rakim most definitely wasn't white.
Right.
Sister, help me out, Horace. Sister said, what is so important about pyramids? She thinks they're ugly.
That's funny. I mean, but what pyramids are she talking about?
I presume these mound pyramids.
Well, our ancestors didn't do anything haphazardly. Everything that they did was calculated, with precision,
Right.
And a lot of people don't know that these mounds and these pyramids, when we ride past them, man, they got basements in them.
Right.
They got caverns in them, man. These things go into the ground 400 or 500 feet, 600 feet into the ground, where we can go down in them.
Right. Chambers.
They chambers.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right. But again, and perhaps close to the sister's point, and again, I don't want.
Let's be nice. She's saying all of them. So you're saying I can't say all of them. Shay, come on now, Shay.
Well, I was trying to find this passage in the book, and this book here, man. Had a sister had asked me a couple of questions, because I was sending her some verses out of here, and it just so happened, like after I text her, the name of the book, Rod Hayes told young Magic 363 to go get one, and I'm like, damn, that's mighty close for comfort, because I just texted sister this book, and I've been had this book since 01.
What is it?
This is the book of knowledge, the keys of Enoch. And the way he's referencing in here, the reason for the pyramids, man, I thought I had some of it bookmarked, but man, it's astronomical, man. You see what I'm saying? And it all goes back to. There's a glitch in there.
What are you doing? What are you doing, and what efforts are you taking to clean up the pyramids?
You're
There's a
breaking up,
glitch right now.
Charles.
I can't hear you, brother.
Right,
Charles, you broke up.
If I could just add that pyramids are feats in technology. You see, it's like one of the wonders of the world, and so is a Sphinx. You see, so to the sister's question, like many African Americans, many people throughout the world, we have to be educated about the significance of the pyramids if people don't know. So asking the question or making a statement is almost a request for the knowledge, a request for the information.
Deal in the real. My number is 443-858-2684. Feel free to send me a scholar. Thank you for your observation.
Yeah, brother. Once I find, that, man, but if you don't get the book right away, I'll end up finding those verses that explains to us, the significance of the pyramids, and it also has something to do with us. Like the one brother said, we are the pyramids, man, and that's true, because if when we stand up perpendicular, we are a triangle that comes, at the top of our head like this, and it goes all the way down into the ground. And see, this is how they're harnessing our energies, because we don't know that we got static cling, that we walking around, and then the way they got these steel beams up under the grounds, and all of these conductors of micro fibers, and whatever they said, he's sucking the energy, because that's how Dr. Delbert Blair was able to create a diode to go on the microwave and on the back of the television to suck the waves before they can reach your body and go through your body, because we can't see it, but they're there.
Okay. Gentlemen, how can people get in touch with you to connect with you? You want to put your contact information or however you want, or any final thoughts you might have? And I want to thank you so much for coming out. I'm just reading some of these comments, and I'm blown away.
Yep. Dan, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity to have the discussion with Brother Charles and Brother Horace. And I certainly appreciate it every second.
Me as well, brother. And I want to say that, I appreciate the opportunity, man. And, this is new to me. I never seen myself getting online, having no, conversations about this type of stuff, man. But I'm glad, man, that we able to come together, man, because just as it's us four out here, man, it's 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, even more of us, man. We just scattered out, man. But, eventually, but we need that million matriarch march, man, and get on these pyramids, and we need to hum those vibrations, man, because this land is wide awoke. That's how come trees and plants and everything else is sprouting out of them every scene, because the land is alive, brother.
That'll be the final word. Thank you, gentlemen, and we'll be back 8 o'clock tomorrow. Good evening, world.
Okay, peace, everybody.
Peace. Thanks, Donnie.